Hey everybody, this is Matt from the product team. It is 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, so I'm going to go ahead and kick things off. Today, it is just me from the product team. I will be joined later in the week, just as a kind of quick intro to what we'll be covering later in the week with the product team. On Wednesday, we will be on with the product owners, covering everything we've accomplished in Sprint 2 of our Q3 release. So again, as a reminder, we are on with the product owners every 2 weeks, covering our release progress for Q3. So if you are a customer of ours or just a fan of Litera and want to know what we're working on for Q3, as well as how is that progress coming along, do tune in every other Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then on Friday, as part of the top 10 series, it's typically myself and Nick having a bit of fun with the top 10 list. This week, it'll still be fun, but it's going to be one of our product owners, Vijay Thampi, is going to be on talking about the top 10 features in Metadact. We've got some even new stuff that came out as part of our Q2 release. Hopefully, it'll make it on the list. I'm sure it will. He'll be joined by a couple other guests, so tune in for that on Friday at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. What we wanted to cover today was, excuse me, what we accomplished. I'd say what was new, some of the big items that we rolled out in Q1, Q2 for create and check, as well as what are we working on in Q3 at a high level. And then again, if you want to see incremental progress on those particular items, you can tune in on Wednesday, this Wednesday, to see what we accomplished in Sprint 2. I'll go ahead and share my screen and bring up the PowerPoint here. All right, so we'll cover the create and check components for Litera. For those who might not be familiar, all our products fall into 4 primary pillars: create, check, collaborate, and close. Today, we'll focus on create and check. So we'll start off with create. For everybody on the phone, create today consists of our Clause Companion, Forte, and Innova products. And we've kind of talked about this in the past. A big focus for Litera throughout the year, this year in particular, is product consolidation, as well as helping our customers migrate very seamlessly to the latest versions, to our consolidated platforms, and so on. This space all encompasses our doc assembly and content reuse applications. So this was our Q1 release. In Q1, we came out with, in Q1, our big focus for us was around reuse workflows. So we came out with a new feature called Revise that is currently available in Clause Companion today. It is in a very advanced control find capability set that was core to some lawyer workflows. We knew when in talking to a bunch of our lawyer users, they were still using a lot of find and replace capabilities, and they didn't have the ability to store off what they were finding and replacing. So not only does it do kind of a native find and replace for them, which they're executing today, but it allows them to store off those lists as data sets and recall them and use them more quickly in the future. So that helped. We released that in Q1. It also does some handling for incomplete items, as noted there. We extended our integrations, external library visible from task pane. So that's basically, in Q1, we had some integrations with Kira and DoLoop. We extended the ability to move content from those external third-party systems into Clause Companion and run the anonymization process on that external content. So you couldn't do that previously. If content was coming from Kira or DoLoop, you had to put it into a document first and then store it off. And as part of that save workflow, you could run the anonymization. Now you can move it right as it's coming from Kira or DoLoop directly into our system without putting it in a document. You can run an anonymization process on it. Anonymization is that process where we detect automatically things that you probably don't want to reuse in content you're storing off for later reuse. Things like company names, people names. The Some big customer enhancement requests were the ability to share entire folders. So we allowed you to share content, but just not all the content in a particular folder. Q1, we added that capability. Multi-selection was another big one. I'm authoring a document or just want to generate multiple documents on screen. You can now multi-select pieces of content to inject in a single document, or you can select whole documents and kick them off into instances within Word. And then we added user content manager. This is an administration in a new capability within the administrator. So it's helping admins of Clause Companion, knowledge management teams, those types of folks, oversee the content. And one of the big asks here was, or one of the big business problems we were looking to solve was, I've got an attorney, or I've got some summer associates that are no longer with the organization. I need to move their content to another user so that they can take ownership of it. One of many things User Content Manager does is allows you to move that content from one user to another. Here's some screenshots. Here's the new revise feature. That's the button that you'll see on the ribbon in the top left and the task pane that it will open. Here was us showing content at rest from, this is from Kira within our task pane, and then you could move it over very seamlessly into our databases. You didn't previously have a view of the content directly from within our task pane either, so we did open that up. This is showing multi-select. So these little, you can see these little, the blue check boxes here, blue boxes with white checks. That's the new multi-select capability. And then on the right click, when you chose to use what you had multi-selected, you had 3 options from an insertion perspective. Here's the new User Content Manager. So there's a new tab within the administrator. It allows me to filter onto a particular user, see what type of content that user is storing off. Are they sharing it? Do I need to move it or reassign it to another user? So moving forward from there, that was our Q1 release. Moving into Q2, we were focused heavily on figuring out the best designs for the new consolidated Create product that will come out in Q4. But there's a lot of work. We wanted to talk to a lot of customers. We wanted to talk to a lot of internal stakeholders. We hold Forte user groups. We showed up there quite a few times to really understand the core user workflows and designer workflows that we needed to be building for a new front-end application we would be building. So that work was underway. Myself and Dan Fisherman, one of our principal engineers on the Create product line, have come on Litera TV a couple times to show progress on those mock-ups and what things will look like. I'll show a screenshot here in a second. We continued to fold in big enhancement requests from customers. So one was proxy access, the ability we had a lot of our users who might be partners at a firm, and he or she wants to grant their 3rd year, 2nd year, 1st year associate access to their account or their content so that they could author on his or her behalf or save off content on his or her behalf. So proxy access allows you to grant users access to your personal data for use within the system. Reporting was a big ask from our KM teams. They're spending a lot of time. They have very big teams figuring out what is that best content for the firm to be using. And so now we can move, if that content is all curated and placed when it's within a centralized area within Clause Companion, based on how people are using it, we can report on that. So what is most frequently used, what is least frequently used, and by whom at the organization is all possible to report on now as part of our Q2 release. From a promotion perspective, we had a lot of users saying, how can I get my administrators aware of content that I need more publicly available more quickly? And so one of the ways we did that was this concept of a new promotion workflow or request distribution workflow. So users can right click on any of their personal content now and request distribution. That automatically, we tie in with the an Outlook API that sends an email off to the administrators of Clause Companion. They get an email that says, this content from this user wants to be promoted, and they can accept or reject the content. And then we extended our external content integration. So we added iManage into play. That was a big ask from our customer base. Our users have a lot of favorited content and a lot of matters, their personal matters within iManage. So can you make those readily accessible within the Clause Companion task pane for just seamless workflows there? So now, as soon as you install Clause Companion, you'll have the option to integrate with iManage. We can do their multi-tenant cloud. We can do their single tenant on-prem instances, whatever it may be. You can integrate multiple iManage instances actually within the system. But users, when they log in, they'll be able to access their favorite content and their matters directly from within our task pane, with that content still being at rest in iManage, but moved over, can be seamlessly accessed within our task pane and moved into a document. And then we've been on Litera TV a couple times talking about the new web services and APIs that we're developing for just kind of a more modern mobile backend architecture, which allows us to create really any front-end application we want in the future. That work was heavily underway in Q2. Here is a screenshot, and not a comprehensive set of screenshots, just one to give you kind of a general sense of the new look and feel for what New Create, to be named, we just continue to call it New Create internally, will look like. And so a very updated, modern look and feel, simplifying the workflow, the core workflows from a user perspective here that you'll see within the application. This screenshot is showing the new proxy access capability. So here at the top is the new proxies button. I'm Matt Miller. Krista Forgione has granted me access to proxy on her behalf. This dialog here is the list of names I've granted proxy access to. So Randy, as an example, would see my name in his drop-down list. The reporting tab was added, as mentioned. You can report on approved content, users' personal content, shared content, and that will give you a glimpse right here from within the administrator, but you can also export, so you can see more details about that data. For example, whom at the firm was using that particular piece of content. This is the new distribution promotion workflow that we integrated or put into the application. So you can right-click on any piece of content, and you'll get this new option to request distribution. So a user can right-click, request distribution. Again, emails the admin can accept or reject from there. Here is the external content integration. So not only do we allow you to integrate with more external content providers, we allow you to hook them all up at once, as well as integrate with multiple instances of an external content provider. So here I'm showing, here's our DoLoop integration. So these are the AI vendors we currently integrate with, DoLoop and Kira. And then I've got multiple iManage instances here. I've got the iManage cloud instance, as well as some single tenant on-prem instances here that I'm integrating with. So that was all released in Q2. Moving on to Q3, we are continuing to work on consolidation. So we're working on, as mentioned in Q2, we took a lot of time to figure out what that front-end application should look like. Now we're actually building that front-end application. So that will be a consolidation. Create, when it ships in Q4, New Create, when it ships in Q4, will be a single add-in application that consists of Innova Forte Clause Companion. Depending on what you're licensed for from Litera, one, the content piece, or the templates piece will show up, one or both will appear. We got all the core APIs accomplished in, I'd say the majority of the core APIs accomplished in Q2, but there were some left to finalize in Q3, so we're working on those now. To showcase some of the web services and APIs that we had developed, we wanted to show we could create a web application, spin one up quickly, consuming those APIs. So we have done that. I have a screenshot of it here that I can show in a second. And then we had just a few months back purchased an application called Best Practice. So it's an artificial intelligence, using natural language processing at its core to get smarter about content. It can parse document content intelligently, search for content intelligently, make recommendations on content. And so that we're starting to look at how those services or those capabilities would be layered into Clause Companion for future development. And then we are, again, the new Create product is a blend of a best of breed of Innova Forte. And so we'll be using the contact integration capabilities of Innova within the new Create product. And some of that work is being done in Q3. Here is a screenshot of this is really an internal demo that we created, but we have been showing it to some customers, showing it here on Litera TV now. This is a subset of capabilities that you could do in the template applications, but a core workflow would be the ability to generate a letter memo fax based on potentially a client matter number. So if you just needed to give your users a simple way to do that on the go, on a mobile device from an iPhone or an iPad, those types of things, you could do that. The desktop application would still be there for the core bigger workflows, but you could create, you or Litera will be creating these type of mobile applications for the future. So here's one we spun up. I showed this demonstration from a web page. I'll be showing it most likely as an integration within Teams in the near future via a mobile device. On the top, you can see they've got two choices, the type of templates and then the client matter number. But again, you could make the mobile application do anything you wanted. The full application has APIs. So here's from that templates drop down, we gave the users the ability to pick letter memo or fax or a pleading, and then a specific client matter number to fill in particular data, to auto-populate data within that particular template. Moving into Q4, I'll just kind of summarize this quick and then get to check. But in Q4, we will come out with that consolidated single add-in application that will be to be named yet, but it will be a consolidation of Clause Companion and Innova and Forte. And then into 2021, you'll start to see best practice services, recommendation capabilities, smart parsing capabilities, smart searching capabilities layered into Clause Companion, and then most likely extending some of the back-end architecture to be to some of the other Litera products. Litera Transact is one that keeps those customers continuously ask for kind of create-like workflows within that product. So potentially extending some of the new web services and APIs to Litera Transact in the 2021 timeframe is something we're looking at. Moving on to check. This is our doc review and repair software, specifically Contract Companion, Litigation Companion, Docx Tools Companion. As I mentioned, product consolidation, product migration, a focus for us for all products. For Q1, we had yet to buy best authority in Q1, detecting U.S. state legislation. We were beefing up our detection capabilities. So we did complete that in Q1. For our Docx Tools Companion, we were continuously marching on this guided experience. We had released guided numbering in Q4, and then guided cross-referencing in Q1 to kind of build out, giving this guided experience, giving users a bit more control back. From integration, we were looking to build repair features to mirror the user experience, the task panes, the user experience that you would get from application to application within this particular space, really across the Litera product as a whole. We want it to be very, very consistent. So regardless of where you are, you kind of knew what to do. And then continue to research how to better interoperate the products. We do have products that were overlapping with cross-reference features, numbering features, how to best interoperate those capabilities and really just have one way to do cross-references as an example. So for cross-references, we did release it into the product. It opens a task pane and gives you, easy enough for your end users, but I would say still powerful enough for your power users to be able to link cross-references within the document. There's a bunch of nice things right here. We're automatically recommending what you should link the reference to. We figure out a bunch of that logic. We can detect, you can see the screenshot there in the bottom, if there's no numbered items, numbering automation in the document, and can warn you that you might want to run automated numbering first. can't build those cross-references without automated numbering in the document. Here was the new option list for those states for additional state legislation detection within Litigation Companion. Moving into Q2, we had purchased Best Authority at this point in time, so we were focusing on consolidating it into the application. We rebranded the installer. We turned a lot of the ribbons to be more on brand from a color perspective. Everything was blue. Documentation was updated to be Litera branded. We also decoupled the ribbon capabilities from the resource files within Best Authority so that you could manipulate the Best Authority ribbons however you wanted. You could, when installing Best Authority, you could integrate it onto a Litera tab to sit with the other Litera products. From a modernization perspective, we finished off the guided experience with our guided table of contents. So tons of nice new little features went in there, but instead of it just automatically building a TOC based on the primary numbering scheme, we gave you a task pane that allows you to pick the levels you wanted. You could also drag and drop non-numbered paragraphs into our task pane so that they would be TC markers would automatically be dropped and they would be included into the table of contents. And then we had started down this path of modernizing DocX tools, and if DocX tools saw other Litera products installed, it would sense that and use some of their features to make some of its rebuilding processes even stronger. So the more and more you own from Litera, the stronger and stronger the applications get. Again, and I kind of mentioned this, but updating the look and feel, so very consistent across, updating the architectures to be a bit more modern. Here is Best Authority integrated, sitting next to the Litigation Companion group, but it's parked on a Litera tab there. Here was the new guided table of contents functionality. So here's the processing dialog, the task pane that would open, that would allow me to pick the numbering in the document for particular to the level I want it included in the table of contents. Then we added some new advanced TOC capabilities within the creation process. Here was the start of the POC that we started for DocX Tools. So DocX Tools, a lot of functionality. It's got traffic lights. It's got discover capabilities. It's got cleaning capabilities. And a lot of people get a ton of value out of it, but just moving it to a more modern tech stack and potentially simplifying some of the workflows. How do I know where to move within that application? We're just looking to clean that up. So this is very similar to a contract companion, now guided DocX Tools companion look and feel. So this would be like a new traffic light here with discover capabilities and more integration here within this task pane, which is a very similar look and feel again to contract companion. Moving into Q3, what we're looking to do for check is divide Best Authority into multiple components. So we have a big mobile focus for 2021 as we componentize Best Authority. That allows us to start to set some of that up. Not that Best Authority or really all the desktop products wouldn't probably be full feature parity from a mobile perspective, but some of the core workflows on those applications, we would look to extend into some mobile capability sets in the future, as well as some of those Best Authority capabilities leveraged by other products. Breaking it apart a bit allows us to do that. From a NTD or numbering table of contents doc ID perspective, we had 3 of them. And Nova Forte DocX Tools had its own NTD solution. DocX Tools NTD is the kind of the go forward feature set, as it has a lot of robust capabilities around numbering and doc ID, which just give our customers immediate value into some of the enhancement requests they had. And then now what we're working on in Q3 is bringing a best of breed NTD solution to the market. So we're modernizing the interface, modernizing the backend architecture, bringing all of those 3 NTD solutions together as one. So regardless of which one you are currently on from us, no worries. There'll be a seamless upgrade path for you for this new modernized one that will be better than what you have today. We spent a lot of time with litigation teams in Q2, just asking them a bunch of questions about, what does day-to-day look like? What are some of the things within the drafting lifecycle that you're having to check or review and spend time on. So we will be adding a new tile to contract companion, litigation companion specific to those teams. That new tile will come out in Q3. As I mentioned, we're modernizing the numbering table of contents .id capabilities. We do want to get smarter about the documents on screen. So not every result set, not every tile might be pertinent to somebody within a litigation team and vice versa on a transactional team. So depending on the document on screen, we'll get smarter about what tiles to turn on and what rule sets to trigger within those tiles, depending on the documents on screen. That's where you'll start to see some of the best practice capabilities probably layered into clause, contract companion, litigation companion. Super add-in, this is kind of a name I've given the application, but this is us consolidating add-ins again. Another big request, but it's also allowing us to better interoperate our companion suite because it'll also be in a single tech stack. So this is Docs Tools Companion, Contract Companion, Litigation Companion, Best Authority, all in a single add-in, being governed and licensed by your license key. So one or more applications appearing based on what you're authorized, have purchased from Litera. So really lessening our footprint running, drastically increasing our interoperability capabilities there. Hopefully that should come out. We're heavily underway there, should come out in the Q3 timeframe. And then we'll be adding some usage tracking. All the applications today predominantly have usage tracking. So we, as users click on buttons from the ribbon, we understand what they're clicking on so that we can best plan for key components of our applications in the future. So we just want to get smarter about usage within Best Authority. With the last couple minutes here's some screenshots of what the new NTD solution will look like. This should look very familiar to you. It's very similar to the new Create designs that I showed a second ago. Here is the new litigation companion tile. That's the ribbon on the left. The button will read proofread for them. The new tile will be exposed in this mode to detect citation issues. We'll be showing that again, that progress on these Wednesday every 2-week sprints to show you what are the things we're checking for within the application there. As we look to the future, we will continue to focus on interoperability within our own product lines, especially for that companion suite, that really lawyer-heavy focused application set. So ideally, Super Add-in will come out in Q3. If not, we'll get it in Q4, and really making sure the interoperability of all the products that I mentioned that would be in Super Add-in is seamless. All of those technologies, everything we just talked about here for check, we'll look to extend it to have more web presence in the future. Again, probably not full feature parity on the web, but some of the core capabilities of document proofreading, document cleaning, those types of things will have mobile applications. So we are working on web services, APIs for those desktop applications today so that we can create those mobile applications for you in the 2021 timeframe. So with that, I want to thank everybody for attending today's session on the Product Sneak Peek series. Again, tune in Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time with myself and the product owners to hear what we've accomplished in Sprint 2 of our Q3 development cycle. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day.